We need to explore this comment for a moment. I love my boxers, and while that is true about my life, I love my boxers. She's one of my double subscribers, meaning she's a subscriber on this hair loss channel as well as Family Friendly Daddy blog, the YouTube channel, which explores DNA, ethnicity, and perceptions of racism. She left a comment on a hair loss video called Hair Loss, Your Vibes Attract Your Tribe. And I want to read part of something she said kind of at the end here. I think is very interesting. Okay. She says, my husband is age 27 and he has thicker hair than me. He has a very full head of hair. And one day he was going on about how he thought he was losing his hair on one side of his head, LOL, which I get that comment a lot. A lot of people ask me, is that normal for one side to recede quicker? And I say, it just basically means that one side is slower to recede than its fate. It's in your DNA how quickly you'll recede and lose your hair, but maybe just that one side is behind of its fate kind of thing. So she says, I told him he was imagining things because he truly was, LOL. Sometimes men can be harder on themselves than women, which I'm not accusing you of, by the way, but I think men care just as much as women. They just hide it more, end quote. We have to talk about this. This is amazing. It's funny because this is the second comment she had left kind of like this. The first one was about a week ago where she was basically saying there's no way that men could care as much about women, or even a fraction of as much as women care about their looks as men. And then now she's, I guess, watched more of videos and she's saying, okay, so you do care, but you just hide it very well. And I think that's a good point. I think we should talk about that. I think that's part of the existence of this channel and the success of this channel, why I've got 2,400 subscribers just by talking about hair loss and receding hairlines, is because A, it's not masculine, it's not cool, it's not acceptable for men to talk about their physical insecurities. It's not. Like, that's a fact. I don't want to sugarcoat. I don't want to say, it's okay, you can talk about how you really feel. No. In the real world, you can't talk about this stuff. And I know that. I figured that out, and I made this channel so that we could. You know, this is our outlet where we can openly discuss these things without judgment. And so it is interesting. Our culture will not allow, because what happens if we do? Let me just run through that scenario, okay? This is me getting into character, being the guy who's trying to openly talk about his insecurities about hair loss. And let's pretend in this video I'm 22 years old, because I'm really 36 and a half. I'm 22 in this character. Here we go. Oh, hey guys, thanks for inviting me to the party. Yeah, thanks. Man, I'm just kind of feeling down today because look at me. I'm only 22 and look how much my hairline goes up. I mean, man, am I gonna go bald? I think I'm going bald. It just, man, I haven't had a girlfriend in like a year, and like, who would want to date anybody like me anyway? So I just wear this hat all the time, and I just like, man, it's just really affecting my confidence. You know what I'm saying? Okay, pause. Okay, so that's what he just said. In a world where you would openly say that, here's the response he would get from the next person. Oh man, come on, get over it, man. Most guys go bald anyway. Just shave it off, man. You just grow a pair. Just get some confidence, man. And that's what the response would be. There wouldn't be compassion. There wouldn't be, hang in there, buddy. It'll be all right. It'll get better. Because it won't get better. Not until you embrace it. That's the thing. Not until you embrace your identity as a balding man will it ever get better. So it's not okay. It's not acceptable to talk about these insecurities. And that's just about balding. It could be about anything. Okay, let's do another one. Again, let's see. At this one, I'm 17 years old. And it's some kind of get together with the I don't know, graduation or something. I'm graduating high school at age 17. Oh man, you guys are so tall. Look, you're like 6'3", 6 foot. I'm the only guy in this room that's under 6 foot tall. I'm only 5'9". Am I ever gonna grow anymore? This is embarrassing. I feel so small around you guys. I mean, some of you used to be shorter than me, and now you're like way over 6 foot. Man, I wish I were taller. Insane. And the same thing, when you project that insecurity, what you're doing is you're making yourself less attractive. You know, and I say that all the time. An attractive man, inside and out, is a man who is confident, who projects that confidence. That's what women find, I would say, arguably the most attractive in a man, probably anyway, is how confident he is in himself. So for a man to talk about his physical insecurities, it proves that he's not confident. It exposes that he's not confident, which all of us have insecurities to some degree. But when you project that and admit that, the honesty is not respected. It's looked down upon because men are expected to be in control of our emotions, and we're expected to, if we have any insecurities, to never talk about them. Why? And I'm not saying I agree with this. I'm saying this is my perception of how society looks at this. But for a man to talk about his insecurities is seen as a feminine quality. So therefore, he's detaching himself from a masculine tribe and identifying more with women. And therefore, not accepted among his male masculine peers, his hetero peers. Maybe that's what I should say. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just saying this is what I perceive how society does this thing. It's not okay to openly talk about insecurities if you're a guy, especially about your hair loss, because that's seen as a normal masculine trait to be losing your hair. So yes, absolutely, I love my boxers, completely right. Men absolutely have so many insecurities, and so many that we have never even talked about on this channel. It goes, in my opinion, it goes way beyond hair loss and way beyond height and stuff like that. There's a lot of insecurities I think that men have that I don't even know that I feel comfortable talking about on a YouTube channel. But yeah, are we good at hiding those? Absolutely. It's part of our identity. We have to. We have to prove that, we have to project the image that we're confident so that people will see us as attractive. And I don't mean just from women. I just mean from everybody in society. People are looking for a confident man who knows what he's doing and doesn't let emotional things affect him. Which is why one of the things I always endorse on this channel is turning off the breaker switch, not letting people offend you anymore. It's a choice, not letting and not holding grudges against people, always forgiving people, always being ready to instantly forgive people. That to me is a masculine trait because it shows you're in control of that instead of being someone else's victim. So absolutely, good call. I love my boxers, and I'm so glad to have you on both of my channels here. This is something probably worth exploring even more. And I'm grateful to have a feminine perspective and a feminine voice on this channel. Remember, I'm all about diversity. I love what we can learn from each other. And I definitely feel, I don't know if I feel challenged in this moment, but I feel enlightened to realize that this is something men must go through. It's a rite of passage to realize we have insecurities, but we can't openly talk about them. We've got to privately manage them because otherwise we're seen as insecure. And as one thing, yes, we need to communicate certain things, but to go around talking about our insecurities, we can't do that. Honestly, we can't. Otherwise, we're not seen as a masculine man. We're not seen as a confident man. So yes, you should talk about how you feel, but insecurities, and this may not be a popular thing for me to say out loud, but I just don't think that men can get away with talking about their insecurities, at least in public. It's one thing if you have a mentor. If you found somebody like me in real life, fine. Behind closed doors, go for it. Absolutely seek that out. But in a public setting, just announcing that, you can't do that. So that's why people aren't hearing these conversations unless they're coming to a place like this where it's a safe haven and I can personally serve as your mentor. Thank you so much for that comment.